and extremely privileged to be up here because, 7 years ago I was just sort of an ordinary bloke doing his best to get on with life, had a stroke, and when they were looking into that, got diagnosed with this disease. And I've gone on an accidental journey and kind of evolved into a patient advocate and seem to spend most of my time very deliberately now that focuses on CLL, and privileged that you're all here today to actually develop appropriate resources to support those affected by CLL. And I think that actually brings me back. Costas gave a fantastic introduction this morning, and my takeaway from that was evolution. Everything to do with CLL, to me, seems to be about evolution. You evolving as a person, as a patient, into an advocate, the disease itself evolving, the treatments are evolving. So my key word and theme, I think, for this conference for me is evolution. That we're all going to evolve together, and hopefully by coming together, we're going to learn a lot from each other and be able to focus on where there are needs and resources, and maybe help prioritise where we're going to focus those resources into the future and work together to do that. So that's enough about me. All I'd say is this has been a long process. I think there are several in the room here who came together 2.5 years ago in Cambridge, where we held a mini summit to discuss appetite and need. And it's been a rocky road to get here, and we're here. So with that, I'd like to introduce my friend and colleague, Lorna. Maybe, Lorna, you can tell everybody about yourself and take it forward.
I'm a little bit shorter than Nick, in case you didn't notice. So my name is Lorna Warwick, and I work currently for Lymphoma Canada. So I'm the National Director of Education and Services. But I've worked in the blood cancer area for about 15 years. And on top of my work that I do, I'm also a member of the board of the CLL Patient Advocacy Group in Canada as well, which is a very successful patient-led initiative. So that's who I am, and I actually got involved just in January with the CLL Advocates Network. So in that brief time, I went from not having any involvement to taking over some things, because that's my personality, I think. But it's all good because we've able to get this conference together and get everybody here, and we're all excited to learn from each other. So for those that don't know, there is a very popular CML Advocates Network. And when the group originally got together to look at the CLL group, they looked at the CML group as an example. And they were like, wow, they've done some amazing things. So is it possible to replicate those for CLL? And just a little highlight of some of the things that the CML group has been able to do. One, they did get a Horizons meeting started for CML where people had the opportunity to share and learn together, and transform that into an online community as well, where people can, again, share amongst themselves different documents, different support techniques, all kinds of different ways to help advocates in every country grow. So hopefully we'll be able to replicate that. But other great things they've done is actually establishing hematology standards, doing more global initiatives to ensure that CML is treated well and equally across the globe. We know for sure right now this is not happening with CLL. There is lots of room for improvement, so there is a lot of work for us to do, and we look forward to hopefully having some really good successes just like they have had.
Thank you, Lorna. I'm not going to stand up because I'm too tall, so I hope you can hear me there. I think I'd like to take this opportunity to actually start engaging everybody, and I'd like us all to recognise the steering committee that have spent the last 2 rocky years at times, but we've got here, and be able to introduce themselves to you, because everybody's dedicated into seeing this initiative succeed and have spent some personal time and commitment to get us to this stage. So this is our first step. So I'd like to introduce members and ask that they stand up as I call their names out. Sorry, everybody, but this would be good. And I'm actually just going to say to Lorna, I don't think, I've introduced Lorna. I don't think it was Lorna's personality that caused her to take over certain things. I think it was need. One of the challenges that we have in the CLL population is we have an older population who are not released from their disease. And part of the reason for having this conference is to bring together professionals and stakeholders that have got experiences and resources. And, there have been a couple of times where we nearly stumbled at hurdles getting here, and we had one recently, and Lorna stepped up and has got us to this stage. So I've got to thank you first from everybody, from my heart. So after that, I'd like to introduce our our LEPAF, Leukemia Patients Advocates Foundation representative on our steering committee, who is there to help us work with LEPAF and as a full member on the steering committee for CLL to develop our resources. And that's Jana Polucheva from Czech Republic. So, unfortunately, another very important colleague, I think he's in transit at the moment, is not here, is Pierre Aumont, who is our French representative and is board member of the French Association, SILLC, which supports CLL and Waldenstrom. So when he does get here, we'll make a point of getting him to say hello. And apologies for notes, but I do have a lousy memory. I'm not going to blame it on chemo brain because I haven't started mine yet. Ireland. Where's Ireland? Where's Michael? My friend Michael Rinne. We'll get the pleasure of introducing Michael later, but Michael is a carer and his wife is a CLL patient, and he has just recently formed and is, with colleagues who are with him, started the CLL Ireland group. So it's great to have a carer's perspective sitting on our steering committee to make sure both the needs of groups starting out are properly addressed and also the needs and challenges of carers are fully understood. And just leading forward from there, we have Italy, Felice. Is Felice here or is he in the MPN group? Now we have Felice Bombacci, who's not with us. Now Felice is a very busy man. He's wearing too many hats. He's also on the steering committee for the MPN group, and it looks as if they've nabbed him. So we'll introduce Felice. And Felice brings a lot to the team, especially in his depth of knowledge in IT, and is going to be helping us deliver a lot of our strategies. Portugal, the lovely Sofia Sarcardasso, from the Portuguese Association Against Leukemia, and Sophia has been with us from the very beginning as a stalwart and has attended so many conferences and workshops as we've workshopped this through, so thank you. And we've got here. And then from the US is our friend and colleague and great knowledge, Dr. Brian Kaufman, who's a CLL patient and family doctor. Thanks for coming all the way over. I think we're going to have a lot more opportunity to discuss more about our activities, what we plan and what we propose. So again, I'm just going to reiterate that I'm extremely humbled and privileged to be here. I think from that note, I'm just going to hand over to Lorna to quickly, because I do talk too much, everyone knows. So I'll hand it over to Lorna to wind things up efficiently. Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. So we do have some people to thank for their support. So first to the conference sponsors, whose generosity has enabled us to gather everybody together here. We sincerely appreciate your support. So our platinum sponsor is AbbVie. Our gold sponsor is Roche. Janssen Oncology and Gilead are both silver sponsors. And we have bronze sponsor levels both from Novartis and the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So thank you very much to those people who generously donate. And then we also need to thank all of our speakers. So we have a lot of people that have agreed to come and share their knowledge and wisdom with us through this weekend. All of them have agreed to do so free of charge. So they are donating their time so we can learn from their expertise. And so we really look forward to hearing what everyone has to say and appreciate their participation.